Hello, YouTubers. Today we're going to talk about cooking gear. Okay, today we're going to talk about several different types of cooking setups and different types of stoves and pots and so forth that you can use, and combinations of them and whatnot. The first thing we're going to show you is a simple cook setup that I have right here. Okay, it uses an angling bottle style canteen, though you could use a regular military issue one. I started using one of these because they were lighter and they worked out pretty good. But it's basically just the same shape as the traditional military canteen, but it's made with the Nagling bottle material. It's made by Nagling. And basically, as we all know, we have the old standby, the Canteen Cup. Well, wrapped around this Canteen Cup, I have a Canteen Cup Stove, which is basically an aluminum tube that slides on here that could be flipped over and used as a stove. Also included is a Canteen Cup lid. Now, these can be picked up easily to go along with this, but if you don't feel if you don't feel you need one, don't include it because it's extra weight and whatnot. But it's very handy. One modification you can do to these is you can drill some holes in the top, little small holes, and make a drain so you can use it to drain water or something, like if you're making something you need to remove the water from it. But a good, nice little camp setup. For fuel on this type of setup, I use what they call a triangular stove, which is an alcohol stove, and then I carry a flask with it that has the fuel in it. Now, what I use for fuel is straight old Everclear, and the reason why is because most of the fuels that are on the market are half ethanol, half methyl ethanol. Now, methyl ethanol is highly toxic and can make you very sick if you ingest it, inhale it, or whatnot. So if it spills in your rucksack or your bag and gets on your food, you can't eat that food. Now, the nice thing about regular old alcohol is that if it gets on your food or it spills over stuff, it ain't going to harm you. Heck, it also adds an additional use as an antiseptic. And if you get really bored, want to celebrate, you can down it, it won't hurt you, and have a fun old time. Anyway, this is the first setup. Now, one thing you'll notice is that some of the pieces in these setups I use together or interchangeably, or I'll mix and match them. A second thing that I use and highly recommend is a solo stove, which is basically what you call a rocket stove or gasification stove. And basically, you put wood in it, wood chips, put your top on there, you light it, and you've got a nice little stove, and it doesn't use a lot of fuel. Another option you can use is you can put an alcohol burner down inside of it instead of the wood, and use the alcohol and just use it as a stand. It actually increases the power of the alcohol burner because that gasification convection effect still happens. Just because you're using a different fuel doesn't change it. So it actually burns off the fuel better and more efficiently. So you use less fuel. Also, along with the solo stove, you can also get their matching pot, which is a nice little pot. The numbers are on the inside for measuring, which is kind of interesting. So as you're filling it, you can actually see the numbers. My only complaint with them is that I wish that they had matched up better for the measurements with what's on the common measurement that are used on most backpacking food. Like it's in know, as far as ounces, it's 10, 15, 20, and whatnot. Where most backpacking food is wanting 8 ounces, 16 ounces, you know, and so forth and so forth. So it's you have to try to guess, even though there's a scale there. It comes with a nice lid, has a locking tab, and it also has the handles that fold down. And it comes with, one second, matching bags to hold them in, you know, if you want to use these. And one nice thing is when you put the stove in its bag and then nest it inside this bag, it actually cuts down on the rattling, so it makes it a lot quieter. Another thing I wanted to note, as far as fuel canister sizes, there's different size things. I recommend these little cheap flasks. They're made in China, but how do you screw up a flask? You can pick these up for a couple bucks in most dollar stores, gift shops, wherever. You can get them on Amazon for a couple bucks, and they come in different sizes. They're very handy in different things. Usually when I'm using this stove, I keep this one with it. This setup, I use this one, you know, and so forth and so on. You can also keep a little bit of alcohol fuel in your alcohol burner. Let me move some of this stuff out the way here. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is propane stoves. Actually, this is isopropane, I think. That's what the name they call the fuel on these. But it's basically a propane stove, or butane, you know, something of that nature. And basically these have these little things that are small, portable, they fold down. Come with a little plastic box, and you put them in. This screws off. It has a stand that comes off and folds down. The biggest part of the stove is the tank. But the tanks are usually sized about the same size as, you know, most of your Nagling bottles or other containers and pots that you find on the market. So you could actually nest one of these in those. These are really nice and everything. What's really nice about these types of stoves is they're better suited for larger pots. Like say you have a skillet. This is a folding skillet. It's a simple handle, folds over, and you can put that on there, and if you want to, like, you know, fry something or whatnot. Now this is a pot set that's actually made by MSR, who makes this stove. That's made for this particular stove. And they have a frying pan which has its fold down capability just like this one. It's a lot lighter than that one. They also have a pot set that comes with a lid. Has already done for you the strainer, as I recommended on some of these other pots you can do, the pot lids, where you put the strainer in there so you can drain water. It comes with some other pots, just, you know, smaller. And these are nice bigger pots. What these are good for is if you have several people in your group. Does that come off there? You have several people in your group that you need to feed. How this comes off. But anyway, you can take these, nest them all together, put your stove inside of it, put your lid on there. Also comes with a little cloth so you can wipe them out. It's like that chamois material, and it's very nice and useful. But like I said, what you can do is you can take this apart, stick it in there, and nest it just like you would one of these other setups. And as you can see, there's different options. You can mix and match, do what's best for you. Anyway, that's it. If you like what you see, follow, like, and subscribe us. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. We like it when people comment, and hopefully you'll come watch us again. Thank you.